Hello, my name is Mickey Antovich, and I serve as the Assistant Dean of Students and Director of New Student Services. We recognize that the transition to being a Berkeley student has looked dramatically different for your student this summer. I hope that the next few minutes will provide you with an overview of what your student has experienced over the past few months, what they can expect during Golden Bear orientation, and how New Student Services will continue to support them beyond this next week. We will review the following: an introduction to the New Student Services team, what outreach our team and other campus departments have done over the past few months, some pre-Golden Bear orientation online modules, and finally going into Golden Bear orientation, or GBO as we like to call it. At Berkeley, we believe in the community and the value of students. New Student Services is only able to provide the support to your students because of our awesome team. We have 5 full-time professional staff and 2 graduate students, 6 incredible student coordinators who have been working on Golden Bear orientation since September of 2019. Their leadership is indispensable. 51 orientation mentors and 500 orientation leaders. These are photos from past years. Each of these students has gone through a tremendous amount of training. OLs volunteer their time and serve as the first point of contact for your students. During GBO, your student will be in a small group led by 2 orientation leaders, or OLs. OMs, or orientation mentors, help to supervise and train the OLs and serve as behind-the-scenes crew of GBO programming. And finally, our representatives. These 5 students have been answering all calls, emails, and direct messages from you and your students since April. They served as OMs or OLs in the past. We could not serve you all without them. We had to pivot from an 8-day fully in-person program to a completely new model due to the pandemic. A priority for our team is to serve 100% of students. This means that we reviewed all of our goals, revisited student needs, and recognized that there's much uncertainty and unknowns that existed. We made the decision in May to move to a fully remote orientation and announced details about date changes to the incoming class in June. Part of our goal is to help connect students to resources outside of New Student Services and introduce them to systems that Berkeley utilizes. Much of our outreach focuses on this principle. We outreach in a variety of ways. Cal Central, this website is a landing page for much of student life. On the site, students review their financial aid, enroll in classes, and follow the list of tasks to help them transition. Social media. NSS increased our outreach efforts this summer. While we wanted to share information, we also wanted to share student stories. Emails. Berkeley heavily relies on emails as the main form of communication to students, staff, and faculty. We recognize on top of the emails a new student would normally receive in the months leading up to the start of their first semester, there were significantly more this year. Phone banking and student follow-up. Our reps and OMs called your students. Golden Bear orientation is one part of the Golden Bear experience. The next 2 slides summarize the first 2 components, which your students engaged in over the last 2.5 months. Note that both of these components have been virtual for the incoming class for the past 4 years. This was not a new process for 2020. Beginning in June, your students received access to Golden Bear Advising, an online module meant to introduce them to academic life at Berkeley, connect them with their academic advisor, and prepare them for course enrollment. After students enrolled, they were given access to Golden Bear Prep. Golden Bear Prep focuses on life outside the classroom and is meant to introduce the many resources, opportunities, and expectations of Berkeley students. Now for Golden Bear Orientation, or GBO as we like to call it. Golden Bear Orientation will officially begin on Friday, August 21st and continue through Tuesday, August 25th. Note that fall 2020 classes begin on Wednesday, August 26th. GBO is meant to be a holistic introduction to the campus community. We recognize that Berkeley can be hard to navigate in person, let alone in a virtual setting. We have designed each day of GBO to help your students explore resources, connect with a small group of their fellow incoming classmates, meet continuing student leaders or OLs, and have fun. We will continue to utilize B courses, the same platform that was used for Golden Bear Advising, to showcase the wide variety of events that students can attend. GBO programming will vary in format, engagement, and time. Rather than expecting students to sit on Zoom from 8 a.m. to midnight, we have adapted the programming to give them greater flexibility in how they choose to engage. We would of course recommend them engaging in all programs, but we recognize that may not be possible for all students. For that reason, many events will be recorded and made available after GBO. If your student is a first year, they will be paired with other first year students. Similarly, if they are a transfer, they will be with other transfer students. For students living in university residence halls, their group will only contain other students who live in the same floor or same building that they are in. Students not living in university residence halls will have academic interest in common with their group members. Let's jump to a sample schedule to see what this may look like for your student. Here's a sample schedule for one student. On Friday, they're participating in convocation, having their first small group meeting, engaging in college welcome, and also attending live resource fair events hosted by campus departments and socials hosted by their orientation leader. On Saturday and Sunday, they will start each day with a small group meeting, and then based on the schedule events, choose what they would like to attend in the afternoon and evening. On Monday, they will participate in college programming. Note that while a college may be hosting programming all day, the intention is that a single student would only have 3 to 4 hours of programming. At the end of Monday, they will connect with their group again to have a closing meeting. As the group says farewell on Monday, all Tuesday events are optional. Those are hosted by departments and are completely based off your student interests. We recognize that they may want to take the day to rest up and prepare for their first class on Wednesday. Throughout this entire week, our behind-the-scenes staff will be available by email and through our GBO virtual help desk to support your students. You may be wondering, what happens after Golden Bear orientation is over? NSS has made a commitment to extend our support and outreach to this incoming class beyond GBO. This will mean continuing to update our schedule of events and connecting to students and support systems. We were still in discussion about in-person programming. There are events we are not able to host virtually that we would like to. Based on student locations and public health guidelines, we will continue to review these programs. As I shared in the beginning, our priority is serving 100% of students. We will take this into account with any future programming. Golden Bear orientation will look very different for this incoming class. One way is that there's a high probability you will all be in the next room or nearby while they participate. Here's some tips to help your students succeed during Golden Bear orientation and beyond. Mark the occasion. Consider how you can help your student feel like a Berkeley student starting with GBO. Give space. If you are able, allow your student uninterrupted time to engage with GBO. We recognize that this may not be possible. Our team's family members, partners, and pets have made frequent appearances in our Zoom meetings. And check in, but at the end of the day, ask what programs they engage with. In the end, we want to celebrate that your student is starting their first semester as a Berkeley student and help them feel like they aren't alone. Our team is so excited to meet them. Thank you, and go Bears.